I said, I'm coming, Mama. They're going to let me soon. And on the 5th day, she was dead. Oh, Mama, oh, Mama. The feds tell me I can't get my mama, and you sit there and let your mama die? I mean, oh, my gosh, you're a Fed. Ship some guns in to Mexico and to Indiana and Florida to drug gangs and Honduras. Oh, ship some cocaine in. That's all in the federal documents. Nobody gets in trouble. I mean, a bunch of crooks in suits. Everybody's so scared of them and their black Suburbans and flashing lights. They're dirt. They're murderers. They're dirtbag rats. They're scum. They're Hitlers. Hitler had an office. Hitler had uniforms. You're supposed to bow down and kiss his boots? Kiss his wart-covered derriere? Huh? No! No! Stalin had military all around him and uniforms and the rest of it. Every other country in history has gone this route. Do we really want to go here? Folks, now there's no room for denial anymore. We're right up to it now. A big criminal group who has committed to implode the country, who's stolen over 600 times the debts that this country actually owes. Well, $655 trillion. They claim we owe, then internationally it's 1.5 quadrillion, so it's 100 times or so. What supposedly we even owe, the 14.5 trill. 14.5 trill. I mean, it's all a giant stinking fraud. And they put these people up on TV to sell the public. The answer is the military. That's called martial law. They're saying put New Orleans under martial law. And they're preparing Chicago and Detroit. What do you think daytime curfews are in some areas of Arkansas? There are areas of Arkansas. I can play the CNN clips of those. Just type in Arkansas towns under martial law, and it shows the cops going, in the town of 40,000, the citizens feel much safer because of the crime. And it shows checkpoints. They're like, where are you going? Let me see your ID. All right, you're allowed to drive through. To leave their houses at the end of the block. And again, this is sold as if it's safe. Meanwhile, the government lets 30 million illegals be felons, and then millions of those engage in any crime they want and have any aliases they want. The government loves the crime. The government sociologists and anthropologists and psychologists know that the prisons are colleges for crime. They know the more prisons they build, the more crime we're going to have. They know the more people are going to go in there for petty crimes and come out with master's degrees, PhDs in crime. They know that. There's been globalist manuals that came out 50-plus years ago on that. What was it? It was like a Chicago police chief, something like 20-something years ago, got caught and recorded going, yeah, they don't know. We love the crime. Yeah. This is what they do. And you notice it's Chicago. It's New Orleans. It's all these big welfare state, corrupt, dependent cancer zones. Cancer zones where you've got dependent people just programmed by Jerry Springer and gangster music and the whole culture. And then, oh my gosh, a baby got shot. We got to do something because there were toys under the tree and the baby's dead. Well, you know what? You should have done whatever you could to get out of that hellish ward. And believe me, I don't want to hear it. This country's poor people are some of the richest poor people in the world. That's changing. That's why it's going to explode now. But you should do whatever you've got to get out, to go live in the country, to get extra jobs, to do what it takes. I mean, I look at these women, these poor women, and I feel sorry for them. And they look like they weigh about 600 pounds, and they're you know, they're in there in this government programming zone, and they're talking about, oh my gosh, the crime. You know, they should be talking about why's the government ship the drugs in here to destabilize this area. And why have we bought into the big government welfare society that's destroyed our culture completely? Instead, they get up there and say, I'm an official and not a servant, and other officials, we all want to have the military on the streets. So I want everybody to get these articles and get them out to everyone you know. Martial law attempt in Louisiana echoes Ron Paul's warning. And the other article, Louisiana state officials call for troops on the streets. And I told you, they're not going to just say, we're arresting political dissidents and we're taking over society because we're an evil government. They're going to bring us into incremental depression with upwards of 50 million people on food stamps. As those food stamps, even though you're still issued them, won't buy as much food as they did before. As people don't have money to buy their crack cocaine anymore. as all of this happens, there's going to be more and more crime, more and more riots, more and more problems, and the military, the police in every case are ordered to stand down. And if they don't stand down, they'll jam their communications like FEMA did in New Orleans. They'll come in when the police guard the tower, and they'll chop it down. That's CBS News. And then when the police stand down and the criminal police run off and start robbing pawn shops and banks and Walmart's on record of their PlayStations and jewels, and the good cops don't know what to do because there's no command and control, they're going to send in the military. And then, after they've set the precedent to do that, they're going to stage domestic terror attacks. It'll be completely sappy. You know, how the right-wingers killed the babies. It's always the same. And the military was trying to get food to the children when the militia bushwhacked them. And now the military didn't want to do it, but they're going to take the guns and go after the American people. And most of the good old boys are going to cry and come out to the front of their house and turn their guns in and salute the military. The military will say, you're on the list. And they're like, I understand. I'll get the back of the truck. I'll prove I'm good. I didn't blow up the babies. And they'll go, oh, good job. And then they'll take them off the little FEMA camp. And you know, the military that takes you to the camp, they really believe they're doing a good job. And then special officers come in and interview you. All right, put him on the plane. And then they take you, and they got those foreign mercs. And it's like, we're going to have you come out and say you were a terrorist. All right? Oh, by the way, we've got your granddaughter. Oh, you want to see some film of us killing other people's kids? They'll show it. Because we like it. That's who they are. That's how they operate. All right, let's go ahead and start getting to this. I'm telling you what's going to happen. I've told you so far. I know how tyrants operate. I've made it my business to study them. And I've made it my business to meet them head on and stop them. And you can stop them. We know their plans. We can stop them and expose them. Remember, everything you hear this guy talk about, the government, the Justice Department, 8 federal agencies, ATF, FBI, all of them, Border Patrol, shipping drugs in and guns out. Remember, everything he's talking about is the government. Now, let's go ahead. The welfare state, all of it, the government. Martial law. Attempted in Louisiana. That's the headline, Infowars.com. They're trying it right now, and it's more than just this state rep. It's a whole coalition. And they got the public begging for it, begging for tyranny. By the time they're done, they'll have what they always wanted, military directly delivering the cocaine and heroin from Latin America and Asia directly to them. That'll really boost profits. Let's go ahead and play the clip.
A Louisiana state official says crime in New Orleans is out of control. So much so that he is now asking that the National Guard be brought in to patrol the city's streets. And this was all sparked by the recent death of a toddler. So here's the background. Just this past weekend, Kira Holmes was gunned down while playing outside of her home.
It's for a toddler.
The family held a vigil with candles and birthday balloons in the same courtyard where she was killed. She was to be turning 2 right around Christmas. And emotions ran high as family members spoke of the little girl who never got to see her second birthday.
My grandbaby is gone. I will never see her first school. I will never see her go to church. Nothing. I have toys under my Christmas tree. I have stockings in my house. I didn't even much want to have a Christmas this year because I felt like this. Now my baby gone. They have a conscience and do what they have to do and turn themselves because that's my grandbaby.
Poor lady. Poor lady.
They need to just turn themselves in. Do this for me. Do it for her grandmother. Have a conscience.
And they use this poor woman's pain to sell tyranny.
I want to bring in Louisiana State Representative Austin Badon. Joins me live from New Orleans. He is one of the officials who wants to bring the National Guard, just as they did after Hurricane Katrina. Mr. Badon, thank you for coming on. I've read that you said your city's at war. You need the National Guard. Why can't local police do the job?
Well, you know, we've done a lot after the storms of 2005, but this is it's just totally intolerable and it's unacceptable behavior in our city. The local police need help.
Well, stop right there.
To do a lot of
the military, admittedly, is filling up with the very gangs that are there. Our government won't stop the MS-13, the Mexican Mafia, any of it. The government sells most of these groups the drugs on record. Gives them the guns to knock out rival groups that don't launder money properly and take orders properly. Again. And now the state and city government can't do it. Now we need the National Guard. This is how it happens. Society collapses by design, and the people that engineered the collapse are there to save us with a bigger nanny state. This is what martial law is called. When the National Guard's called into your town at checkpoints, that's called martial law. But hundreds of newspapers are making fun of Ron Paul. Let's go ahead and play that clip.
Different things that are building our city. We're rebuilding our infrastructure. We're building our schools back. We're building our economic base. But we have a select few people who are going out there and committing heinous crimes in broad daylight, killing people, killing babies. It's intolerable. We must do something about it. So what I have done is I have called upon the governor to bring in the National Guard. After the storms of 2005, people were a lot more comfortable by seeing the National Guard on the streets of New Orleans.
Oh, yeah, they love it.
Morale higher. We are doing a lot of good.
It boosts the morale. Everything's military now, like some third world country. It boosts the morale. Oh, yeah, to have the National Guard going door to door taking guns with big army and the FBI commanding them. Oh, that was wonderful. Let's go back to the clip.
Things. The people here in New Orleans are very resilient, and they're rebuilding, and they have a real great passion for our city. But we cannot allow certain individuals to carry guns and to go out and to shoot people on a daily basis in this city. So I've asked for the National Guard to come in and create order to assist the NOPD with support and also with patrols and help them to take this city back, because we are at war.
Hit pause. We're going to come back with the rest of it. So patrol, pull triggers on citizens, set that precedent. And triggers were pulled by Big Army against citizens in New Orleans. And you heard it. We can't allow them to have these guns. Again, you can't legislate morality. We are an immoral, degenerate society. The answer is people have guns to protect themselves from these degenerate drug dealers. Oh, by the way, how's your drug prohibition going? Oh, it's getting the government and the big corporations real rich off keeping the prices up, just like alcohol prohibition. Decriminalize it, and those gangbangers will have to find something else to do. Or keep them in prison, but you won't do that either. We'll be right back. Stay with. By the way, coming up, we have a CNN clip where they report that Ron Paul has a 52% chance of winning Iowa with their big scientific breakdown, and that Romney's at 20-something in a distant second. And that's what other polls I have show, is that Ron Paul is turbocharging ahead, showing the American people are waking up. And the media is like, but he's worried about troops on the street. You open up the paper, armored vehicles, sound cannons, microwaves, given to local police, army standing by in every city. Government wants checkpoints, TSA running checkpoints with Army in Tennessee, families jerked out of vehicles. Yeah, that Ron Paul, he's really nuts. Every day this stuff comes out. And the military, the police, everybody's got to decide what side you're on. I mean, the globalists are going to hurt 99.9% of us. Even if you're immoral and evil, it doesn't give you a good deal to go along with this. But I understand those of you that are evil, you can't help it. You're like a moth to flame. You like to side with darkness. A lot of it because you're cowards. Others because it gives you a thrill. Well, you're going to get more than a thrill if this all goes through. Because the globalists, when they take down America, are going all the way. A Soviet-style red terror operation. Roundups, arrest, I mean, they've been training for it. Total re-education, total breaking this country's back. And again, there's going to be, people are like, well, we'll have a big war with the police and military. The globalists love that. They'll let that in the first waves chew up the military and police and bring in the foreign mercs on record. So, you idiots, they're going to have war with the American people. You are literally sticking your hand down a badger hole. And I don't have any thrill of, ooh, there might be a conflict in a 1776 physically. Only anyone